Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. We know we're a day late, but it's going to be worth it. This chair right here will soon be occupied by Team USA captain for the 2023 Ryder Cup, Zach Johnson. And he's going to be all geared up just like we are right now. Getting a first look at the uniforms.
Never been more ready, bud.
I mean, you look incredible.
I've never been more ready. You put me in tomorrow, I'll run through a brick wall for him.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us
and
about it.
And he's making a huge announcement. We'll spill the beans. We got captain's picks. Congratulations. That's why we're wearing this. On the squad.
Okay, perfect.
That's actually not the announcement.
Europe just became a massive favorite, if that's the case.
That's what we want them to think. That's what we want them to think. But we are here on Michigan Ave, the Ralph Lauren store. Huge shout out to RLX for putting this together. Going to be a great interview with Zach Johnson. Ralph Lauren is proud to continue its partnership with the PGA of America as the official outfitter of the 2023 United States Ryder Cup team. Combining the rich heritage of the greatest team event in golf with innovative performance fabrics, Ralph Lauren will continue to provide the U.S. team with apparel to be worn during the tournament play at the 44th Ryder Cup, which will be contested at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, Italy, from September 29th through August 1st. Ralph Lauren will also outfit all caddies, spouses, and partners of the U.S. team, including Ralph Lauren Golf ambassadors, U.S. team captain Zach Johnson, and vice captain Davis Love III. The RLX Golf collection is available in select Ralph Lauren stores, exclusive private clubs and resorts, and online at ralphlauren.com. Shout out to them. You look spectacular.
Serious question. I mean, this is the gear right here. This is what Team USA is going to be rocking. We take this over to Rome. We're going to be there. We just walk on the range, start hitting a few. You think we get pulled away?
They don't bat an eye. They just brought in a couple ringers. They got a couple secret weapons they've been keeping tucked on the member guest circuit.
We might as well try. But cannot wait to sit down with Captain Zach Johnson here in just a little bit. But first, we got to talk about a guy that's making a very strong case to be a part of that Team USA. Lucas Glover just went back-to-back.
Back-to-back ain't cheating.
Wow.
That's what I've been told.
I mean, this guy, he went from, outside the top 180 in the FedEx Cup before Memorial to now third. Obviously, a lock for Eastlake, a chance to win the entire FedEx Cup, and maybe be wearing the red, white, and blue over in Rome for the first time on the Ryder Cup.
I mean, this is what happens. We've been speculating about the Ryder Cup for months and months. It feels like who's in, who's out. We think you have a pretty good idea. All of a sudden, a couple of weeks before the playoffs, boom, somebody comes in that wasn't even on the radar. And not only is he on the radar, he is squarely in the middle of that radar right now. Zach, who we're going to be talking to in a little bit, there's no bad decisions. There's no bad choices. You're picking against world-class golfer or this world-class golfer. But, I mean, the whole point of these captain picks, when we changed it to 6 captain's picks, right, is like, Billy Horschel rule. Billy Horschel won Eastlake, and he wasn't on the team. It's like, man, if we could make these picks now, he'd for sure be on the team. He's got the hottest hand. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to find a way that given what he's done since he switched that long putter, that he won't be a part of this team. But there's more important golf left to be played. So who knows what can happen?
Look, I've been adamant that I believe Justin Thomas is going to be one of those captain's picks, even though he didn't make the playoffs. Currently sits 14th on the points list. Lucas is one of the most loved guys out there on the PGA Tour. Justin Thomas is not rooting against him, but I'd have to think he's probably sitting home being like, okay, Lucas, maybe just pump the brakes a little bit. How about a 12th?
How about a Rory win, or a Rom, followed by a Rom win, or Scotty, or one of these guys that's 1 through 9, basically, that we're pretty sure are going to be on that team. The worst thing that could happen to him is a guy from out of nowhere, basically, coming and getting hot, and that's exactly what happened. And now, throw another name into the mix. There's probably, I would say, 3 spots maybe up for grabs, and there's 5 names maybe you're throwing around for those. Like, he's going to have, no matter what happens, who he picks, going to be a great pick. You're going to have some tough phone calls.
Very tough phone calls. You're exactly right. I'm interested to see what happens, but you just look at what Lucas Glover did there on the back 9. We always talk about how we want good putters on the Ryder Cup team. Didn't really ever think Lucas Glover would be in that conversation, but you go back to hole 13 on Sunday, makes the 20-footer for par after the horrible lie in the rough, soups it on 14, makes a 30-footer for bogey.
Shocking.
Huge up and down at 17, and then clutches up and does what he needed to do on 18 to win in a playoff over Patrick Cantlay, man. It's so impressive to see what he's doing, and I mean, why stop now? He's on an absolute heater.
If you're going to stop, it would have been like, wow, I won to get into the playoffs. He damn near had to win at the Wyndham just to make it into the playoffs. He went and did that. Now he's just running, and I thought, like, winning back-to-back is incredibly hard on the PGA Tour, right? But to do it the way he did it, we've seen Lucas Glover win before. We've seen him win major championships before. U.S. Open, perfect example. Great ball striker, tee to green, boom, just don't melt on the greens. Try to be average, and he's going to give himself a chance. that back nine was just a totally different Lucas Glover. Didn't have his ball striking. He hit it in the water on the par 3. I was like, that is the last place on the planet I expected him to hit it. T-ball on 17, tough tee shot, the quick lefty, right? Lays it up to 57 yards, gets that up and down. Like, he was doing it with the short game, with putter. Could have easily laid down after the ball in the water and just been like, damn, came close, let one get away from me, but he didn't. Came back and won it. He's winning in different ways, and dude, he just looks like a different human being with that putter. Imagine all the pressure that's off his ball striking because he actually feels like he might hole some 10, 12 footers.
I have a feeling they sold a few of those putters since this little run he's been on.
The marketing,
but
crazy.
It's been a clinic. You can tell. I mean, we had him on our SiriusXM show, Gravy in the Sleeves, and he's like, I'm no longer scared of putting. Like, I am actually looking forward to getting on the green, walking up to the green with that putter in hand, because he knows it's a weapon now.
It's an asset. For the first time in his career, he talked about like chipping. I would miss the green if I'd hit it in a bunker. If I didn't hit it to a literal foot, I would be worried. He's like, the tap-in scared him more than anything. The 2-3 footers, the ones that most guys just take for granted, go in and brush it in, those were the ones that gave him the most issue. Now it's like, dude, if I just give myself a chance, this thing's going in. And the putts that he's missing, the ones that aren't going in, they look like they're going in. Even the putt on 18, like, just left it short. The thing was looking good. You know, it's just the roll. It's a completely different guy, and it's crazy to see at 43. Probably wish he switched to that bad boy about 5 years ago, maybe.
I think things are working out just fine. We'll see if he can make it 3 wins in a row here this week at the BMW Championship in Chicago, Olympia Fields. Unbelievable golf course. It is going to be one hell of a test. And the playoffs are here, and there's no better place to get in on the golf action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. You can go head-to-head matchups, top 20s, top 10s, top 5s, whatever you want. We got it at FanDuel. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is easy to use with a ton of different pre-tournament and in-play markets. And when you win, you get paid instantly. So aim for some green this spring and bet on the PGA Tour. Make sure you go to FanDuel.com/subpar and sign up. That's FanDuel.com/subpar to get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. FanDuel, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. All right, let's make some picks here. Only 50 guys to choose from. One of us. We got good chances of getting some winners here. I'm going with the favorite. No surprise here. One of the favorites. Had a bad week in Memphis last week. You don't see him play bad 2 weeks in a row very often. I'm going with the leader in the FedEx Cup standings. Give me Jon Rahm on a golf course where I think, he won in 2020 in that awesome playoff with Dustin Johnson where he made the crazy putt in the playoff. But I just don't see him playing bad 2 weeks in a row. And this is a big-time golf course. You can't fake it. I think it sets up perfect for him.
What do I always say? An angry Spaniard is a dangerous Spaniard. And you don't play bad 2 weeks in a row too often. All right. This is kind of bad form, I guess, since we're here to interview the U.S. Ryder Cup captain. You got a European guy. I'm going with a European guy.
Sorry, Zach.
I'm going with a guy that it's not the worst record in the world to have, but he is now the highest earner in the history of the PGA Tour without a win on that tour. And his name is Tommy Fleetwood. And speaking of driving and irons and all this stuff you said, doing it pretty good. He's going to be over there in Europe as well, but I just feel like, God, how many times can he get close without peeling one of these things off? Been in great form for a long time. I'll take Fleetwood.
All right, I like it. He was very high on my board last week. Thought he was going to get it done. As far as my dark horse, I'm going to go with one of your guys. I think this is a ball striker's golf course. Not many hit it better than him. Coming off a final round 65 in Memphis. No Americans for me this week. I'm going Corey Connors.
Me neither, dude. This is a horrible planning. Horrible planning by us.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth.
Well, maybe if you would have made us vice captains, we would have picked some of your squad.
Sorry, we're for sale. Corey Connors. Need I say anything? Love it. All right, bud. I'm going to go 2 for 2 here. I'm going with another European Ryder Cupper on the way. I know this. In hindsight, this is bad form. Luckily, Zach's not here yet. He shot a little 61 last week. Had it going pretty nicely. Big yard for him. U.S. Open champ as well. I'm going to take Justin Rose.
All right. I like it. By the way, the only thing that scares me is he was playing with your boys in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, my boys are playing the front. A little liquored up, by the way, when we found him. They missed their tee box, actually, on the way. I was like, no,
that happens.
Back here.
To no one.
He should be very loose, very stress-free after playing with those boys. But, man, that's 3 out of 4 on the Euro side. Tough look.
Tough look. All right, make sure you go to FanDuel.com/subpar and sign up today. And also check out the live betting profit boost token. Through the IMG Arena Golf Event Center, FanDuel will bring an exciting library of new live betting markets to golf fans, including closest to the pin, longest drive, number of birdies, and more exciting stroke-by-stroke bets that will allow fans to engage with golf at any point in the tournament. The IMG Arena Golf Event Center will also provide FanDuel with a greatly enhanced data visualization experience for fans to watch during tournaments. With the ability to track each shot in real time, view hole profiles, and see course maps, all in the FanDuel Sportsbook. Fans will have the tools they need to make betting selections during key PGA Tour events. FanDuel customers will also have access to a live leaderboard that can be customized to track hole-by-hole performance of their favorite players. And also, Sleaze and I got a little side action going on, so keep up with that.
Nailed it.
All right.
Yeah, we do. I got some ground to make up.
FanDuel, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Must be 21 years and older and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, or Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, or www.mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. The time has come. Let's get to it. Ryder Cup captain for 2023, Team USA, Zach Johnson on Subpar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got the belle of the ball here today. 5-time U.S. Ryder Cup team member, stepping into a leadership role now, taking his talents to Rome, the United States Ryder Cup captain, Zach Johnson. Good to be with you, buddy.
Drew, it's my pleasure and honor.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Captain's always kind of a cool thing. Yeah, it's one of those things. When it's gone, I'll probably miss it a lot. So yeah, I'm enjoying every moment of it.
We'll still call you that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
my name's
appreciate
Colt.
it.
In case you forgot.
Thank you for having me.
This is great to be here at the Polo Ralph Lauren store in Chicago with you. We're actually showing off the team uniforms.
We are.
Which
Y'all look great.
Be honest. How much did you have to do with this?
Well, they obviously noticed that my fashion sense is that of, well, I don't know, but it non-existent.
Tom Hoagie.
There you go. Okay, yeah.
Very well-dressed man.
I was going to go with maybe Woody Austin, but
Boy.
Tabasco.
yeah, I'm going to leave this kind of stuff to the pros, and clearly Ralph Lauren Polo knows what they're doing. And I'm not to get into too much, but I appreciate it because they've done it now for so many odd years with Team USA. Guys love it. They keep it and they wear it. More than that, it's part of our equipment. You know what I mean? Like, and given the fact that we don't know what the weather's going to hold, we got everything. And the beauty of what Polo has is everything. So we'll be good.
Well, they do the best of the best. There's no doubt about it. You're going to look fantastic. I will say you're already one up on Steve Stricker in the opening ceremony suit game.
Strong, huh?
Yes.
Came out correct.
Yes, much
Very
correct.
strong. Linen,
Yeah, it wasn't.
clean, simple, magnificent. It'll make us look good. Very excited about that. I did have a little bit of say. I should say that. I did. There was the more formal wear that we all wear. I had some options there. Thank God they gave me. It's like a menu. Thank goodness, because I wouldn't know where to start. And I think we're gonna look great. I mean, I'm a pretty simple-minded guy. Everybody knows that, but I love classy, and certainly that's what they specialize in.
Colt and I wanted to tell you, we just slid these bad boys on about 15 minutes ago. I walked out. I said, I am ready to run through a brick wall right now. I'm ready to go on a European tear
America.
right now. Nothing feels better. So if you get in a pinch, just keep that in your back pocket.
I got it, yeah.
We're available,
I hear
as you know.
you're a killer in member guests.
Oh, dude, the word's out, is
Here
it?
and there.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Doesn't matter.
The only problem is he finishes runner-up a lot, and you don't want to do that in Rome.
Yeah,
No, there's no top five
I'm a top two
finishes
guy.
here.
I'm a big time
Yeah.
top two guy.
Yeah.
Let's go back because, I mean, you've played on 5 teams. You're a 2-time major champion. But I think growing up, not many people are like, oh, I want to be a Ryder Cup captain one day. Take us through when you got that phone call. Did you have any idea that was coming?
No. I mean, within reason, no. Yeah, I mean, I never the first part of the question, I never dreamt.
Yeah.
I never dreamt of playing on one. I mean, no, I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I always had dreams of playing professional sports, specifically on the PGA Tour and golf, but no, my dreams never got this far. So that moment is one of those moments you'll never forget, right? I did serve on the Ryder Cup committee, which is kind of it's a very cool group of guys. There's essentially three players, peers of mine, that sit on it with some of the executives of the PGA of America. So I remember I got an email and then I got a phone call saying, hey, we would love to get on a Zoom call with you at this date. I'm skiing with my family out in Colorado.
Shout out.
And our favorite week of the year. And, that's fine. I mean, I'm thinking it's a Ryder Cup committee call where we're going to, start hashing out some things, which is, just the basic architecture of Team USA. But I also knew I was coming off that. My tenure was done. And so, lo and behold, I get on the Zoom, and, you've got the president, the vice president, Seth Waugh, and a couple other individuals there, and some of my peers, right? And basically, they were like, hey, we're just going to cut right to the chase and ask you to be the next Ryder Cup captain. And, it's one of those surreal moments that you have, and I've had a few, and I'm very fortunate to have those because they're special. But that was one that, I never envisioned coming. I guess when I got on the Ryder Cup committee, I'm like, well, I guess there's always that chance, but I don't know what thing's going to, I've got a lot of peers my age that hadn't done it, right? You're talking the Tiger Woods and individuals that are around my, generation that hadn't done it yet. So I'm thinking if it happens, it's going to be, something's got to happen. I don't know. I didn't know how that process went, but I'm fortunate that I'm in this role. I did not say yes immediately.
Sleep on it?
I think it's responsible to.
Right.
More
Don't
than
rush
anything.
to a decision.
There's more to it, obviously, than myself, but more than that, like it's a situation that carries, a responsibility with Team USA. And so once my peers said, hey, it's your turn, you should do it, we want you to do it, then it became an easy yes.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the main event still yet to come. There's still some very big decisions you have left to make. But give us leading up to the Ryder Cup, the behind the scenes. I think most people see the captain like, oh, he makes the captain's picks, he sets the pairings, boom, they go out and play. What's the behind the scenes responsibilities? What all does it entail?
Well, there's a lot. Yeah, that's a great question. And those responsibilities can kind of take different shapes depending if it's here or there. Luke's is different than mine this year because he has a lot of opportunity at Marco Simone in Rome to kind of make the golf course what he wants, so to speak. There's limitations, but he has some say. And then there's other things that are different based on, again, if it's in the States or abroad. But on the surface, you're talking about some response. A lot of it's media driven. A lot of it's actually getting the hype going. And I got the ask in February of 22. So we're only at that point 4 or 5 months removed from Wisconsin. You know, so there's still a lot of time between that ask and the actual Cup. And so as of late, yes, everything is starting to amp up. Whether it's Zoom calls, dinners, decision making on what's going to take place at the hotel, catering here, catering there, the team room, what's that look like, a gym. What do you want at the golf course? Where's the physios? Where are the locker rooms? How do they look? All of that. And I have a lot of say in that, but my wife probably has more say on those items. My responsibilities are really starting to come, and that's formulating 12, and then obviously the week of the tournament, trying to figure out how we navigate Monday through Thursday, and then seriously the serious ones of who plays Friday, Saturday, and what's that look like?
Well, it's coming, and it's coming.
It's coming. Talk about it.
Oh yeah. we can talk about it. I can give you some little nuggets, but
we love nuggets.
Yeah, it depends on where you go, guys. There's certain things that are very obvious, and there's others that are not.
Yeah, and obviously, the points stop this week after the BMW.
That's right.
Top 6 will automatically be on there, and then. You've got the very tough job. It's a great job to make 6 captain's picks because you got about 22 guys that are really, really, really good at golf.
I could argue more. Yes, 100%.
So you got a nice group of players to pick from. But how much are you looking forward to making those selections, and also at the same time dreading having to call these guys and tell them they didn't make the team?
You're talking the absolute reality of my position, and I know that's going to be the very difficult side of things. But I've also, I know that's what I signed up for. That's part of it. The onus goes on me, and so I'm going to make a lot of guys happy, appease a lot of guys, and I'm going to make some very upset. I have been on both ends of that phone call. And, fortunate I've had opportunity to be on the good end. I've also had the opportunity to really, let it sink in and be a little distraught and frustrated when I got the bad call. Now, the bad call is also motivating too. So, I don't know who I'm calling yet, number one. And number two, I don't know what it's going to look like. But I am so appreciative of the communication that these guys have had with me, the transparency that they've had with me. I would hope they say the same coming from myself and certainly our leadership. But it's going to be hard. Going back to what you just said, there's an ample stable of American studs that we can pick from. And I firmly believe that we could take a number of different tandems and scenarios over with us and have a great outcome. So it's really what is, someone told me this. It's not like I don't need to take the 12 best American players because that's hard to really pinpoint. You can look at metrics, you can look at data, you can look at lists and all of that. But I need to take the 12 best players that make the best team. And so that's what goes on me.
Well, one guy that's going to be on that list, whether you call him to and ask him to be on the team or not, was on our SiriusXM show earlier today, Colin Morikawa.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, you're by far the most handsome captain they've ever had in Team USA. And also, he is not opposed to bribing
Sorry,
you.
Strick.
Yeah.
He's not opposed to what?
Bribing you. So
bribing
throw
me.
a number out.
I'm not
Throw
opposed to accepting bribes.
We
Not
were
opposed
trying
to
to take
accepting
cash
bribes.
today.
Yeah,
Nobody bit. Nobody bit.
Yeah. Colin's great. He's, I remember in the previous Cup, 2020, 21, he was a rookie Ryder Cup member with 2 majors under his belt.
Yeah. How about that?
That's not normal.
And played incredible.
Incredible.
Everyone played great at Whistling Straits.
They really did.
Colin really played great.
The decisions, there's no wrong decision, right? You got, like you said, you got a stable full of great players, right? So whoever you pick, some will be happy, some will be disappointed. But when it comes to making those final decisions, you're the guy, you're the captain, it's your call. How much input are you getting from the 6 auto qualifiers, from your vice captains? Like, what's the protocol? How much are you taking in?
You're saying it, Sleaze. It's all of that, right? My vice captains, a lot of wisdom there. A lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience in my seat. Yep. Heavily rely on them, right? And the beauty of it, those guys, for the most part, even though they're not necessarily playing with us week in, week out, Stewart is, they know these young guys because they've been around them and they want to be around them. There's a reason why those guys are going to go over there to Rome with me. Heavily rely on them. I would say, I don't know if I'd say more so, but the impact, the perceptions, the opinions, and the feelings of the 6 guys that actually make this team is imperative. It's crucial and essential. So this is their team, and they need to have direct ownership in it. And so I've said it. If we win this, if the United States wins this, it's the 12 guys that won it. I could argue that if we lose it, it could be thrown on me, and that's fine. I signed up for it. But if we win it, I ain't winning it. So I need their impact. I need their opinions, and I need them to voice how they see it coming together in Rome as a team. And I don't know who the top 6 are. I know 2 of them, Scotty Scheffler and Wyndham Clark, and I've already communicated with them a fair amount, and more will come. But they're bought in, they're invested, they want it, and they're hungry. So that's a start.
Well, here's the deal. No matter what, if y'all do go over there and win, you are going to be the captain of the team that broke the 30-year streak of winning across the pond. So
don't think about that. Just be you.
Thank you. I'm at peace with whatever comes. I say that. It's easy to say that. It's a hard thing to really execute that. But I really am at peace. Like, I know if the so-called drought does end, I'm not hitting a shot. Not hitting one shot.
That's a player.
So that's those 12 guys ending that drought.
And one thing I always love talking to people that play the Ryder Cup is just how the nerves are so ramped up. Like, here you are. You won the Masters, Augusta National. You won the Open Championship at St. Andrews. Like, for you, 5 times you teed up teed it up for the red, white, and blue in the Ryder Cup. How different are the nerves there versus, say, Sunday first tee at Augusta?
I will say, if it wasn't for my Ryder Cups, I'm not so sure I would have the resume I have.
Really?
If that makes sense. I mean, I got to think about this. My first Ryder Cup, at the time, I think I had one victory on the PGA Tour, okay, which was my rookie year. I did win early, but there was a drought there. Still played okay, just it's hard to win. I go over to Ireland and represent the USA in the Ryder Cup for the first time, and we got thrashed. It was not a great outcome. But, I mean, I remember moments in my game that was like, oh, my gosh, I can actually do this. And those moments, those executing of shots and that situation only makes you better. And so the next year, I'm not suggesting that's why I won, but it's one of the reasons why I felt very comfortable in the arena at Augusta National being in contention. I mean, if you can execute and kind of like basically not succumb to the weight of it, you're going to be okay. And again, easier said than done.
That's cool that you say that's part of the reason why.
No,
that's awesome to hear that.
Absolutely no question.
You're going to have some rooks on this team,
Yep.
and you're also going to have some guys that are rookies in Europe, playing in Europe for the first time.
Sure.
And everybody that's there is going to be hyped beyond belief, and they're chomping at the bit to get on that golf course. Is there anything in play, because you've been in that same situation,
100%.
to like wind them down?
Right.
Like, how do you
Oh my
calm
gosh.
guys
Yeah,
down?
yeah,
Even though
yeah.
you want them excited, excited to a certain extent, I would think.
100%. I think the excitement is I don't have to really get them amped up. That's it's
How do you wind it
palpable.
back?
It's tangible, right? Yeah, exactly. How do you bring it back to like the simplicity of it all, right? And my wife actually is shocker, right? To leave it to a woman to actually have some sage advice. But my first match in the Ryder Cup in 2006 was on Friday. Obviously, I didn't play in the morning, which was 4-ball. So I'm playing alternate shot in the afternoon with Chad Campbell. Great guy, right? And ball striker, thank God. And so Captain Lehman's like, hey, just be ready. I don't care how you're ready, just be ready. You don't need to go out to the first tee. Just be ready when it's your turn to go. And so I did. I went through my normal routine, slept in. My wife went to the first tee, and she comes back and goes, oh, my gosh.
You're not going to believe.
It is, going back to what your question, it is so loud, and it is deafening and all of this, right? But then she goes, I right immediately after she said that, I'm getting chills thinking about it. She goes, but the guy he grabbed his driver, grabbed a tee, grabbed a ball. There was a tee marker there. He put it on a tee, and he hit it, and then he found it in the fairway, and then he hit it again, and there was a hole. She goes, it's still just golf. I mean, that's extremely simple, but that's what I'm going to try to get across. Managing emotions is a big part of it. Some guys play with it and can harness it. Some guys like to kind of stay on that emotional side of the spectrum, which is me. And there's other little nuggets, and I would say, nuggets of experience that I can pass on down to these guys when it comes to the actual magnitude of the situation. But, these guys know what they're doing. I mean, I think experience is always good. At the same time, it's probably not as important as at one point it was. Meaning Colin Morikawa, again, right? The guy was a rookie the last Ryder Cup with 2 majors. I mean, the guy knows how to execute in the most difficult of circumstances. So, I don't know how valuable it is, but inside the team room, experience is great.
Obviously, I know you can't give us too much, but one of the guys that, is the one who's debated about the most, being on this team, being a captain selection, had a tough year this year, but he's an absolute stud every time he puts on the red, white, and blue, and that's Justin Thomas. I believe 16, 5, and 3 between Ryder Cup and President's Cup. What have your conversations been with them? I know it hurts him more than anyone that he didn't get it done and automatically qualify.
No question. I mean, good friend of yours, very good friend of mine as well. And when you have somebody of that talent and obviously that high of character, you don't want to see him struggle. I mean, that's what I don't. I mean, forget about the cup. I just want him to play good golf. And and when JT plays good, it's good for everybody too. Yeah. I mean, he is one of our certainly assets on the PGA Tour. So yeah, we've been communicating. I would hope that he understands, and he does. That open lines. We're going to keep the honesty train going. We're going to leave it all out there. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know what's in store, but obviously he's still in consideration. He's
of course
he's he's been a part of Team USA since 2017. Guys want to be around him. He's great in the locker room, and obviously what he's done inside the ropes in these cups has been well documented. So his resume speaks for itself. But at the same time, I've also got to look at all the other factors involved, right? Whether you're talking about the golf course, horses for courses, and that kind of thing. And we're still kind of getting into that with the stats and all that data crunching. And then you got to look at form too. So a lot of nuance, a lot of heavy-weighted topics. But he knows that he can call me anytime, and we can have an open line of communication. So he's been fantastic. So is everybody else. And the guys that are kind of on the outside looking in, meaning not really in the top 6, have been spectacular. And I think it speaks to the volumes of the class and character of these guys. They're like, we know Zach has a hard job, and they get that, and I'm grateful for that. Right after they say that, like, well, I want to play on that team, and I want to play for him, fully knowing that I'll probably be on my couch cheering them on if they're not.
Yeah.
And I've said the same thing back in the day. If you've been a part of one Ryder Cup to any capacity, you're a part of Team USA Ryder Cup. So I would love to take about 30 guys with me. Unfortunately, I'm only taking 12.
Yep. Is there any situation where a guy who doesn't make the team as a player would accompany the team for, call him what you want, vice captain,
right.
all that, just for locker room stuff?
And we've kind of had that in the past with certain I would love to open that up. I don't know if that's entirely under my control. Given the captain's agreement that is now established, I'm limited on roles, official roles within Ryder Cup USA. Whether you're talking about vice captain, I can only have 5 vice captains, and then there's other nuances within that limit who and what I can bring over. So I don't know. There's maybe ways to construct something that fits in that construct. I haven't really gotten into it too much. I'm more concerned about let's get this top 6 situated, and then we'll try to figure out how we form the best 12.
You mentioned the golf course, and obviously they set it up a lot different over there than we do over here. Mm-hmm. We got a bunch of bombers on our team that absolutely smash it, make a ton of birdies. Last time we were over there in Paris, it was tough. It was narrow. Rough was brutal. What are you expecting from the golf course this year?
I expect a lot of that. That's been kind of the common theme. Now, the canvas that Luke has there is a little bit different than Paris. Paris, for the most part, was rolling hills and pretty flat, right? There wasn't a whole lot of there were some shots that played 5-6 yards down or up, but on a rare occasion. Marco Simone will have shots that are on the, there's 5-6 yards up and down, all the way upwards of 15 to 20 yards up and down. It is all of Augusta National meets Castle Pines. It's that hilly.
Whoa.
So really, the struggle would be probably on the caddies, right?
Yeah.
But logically speaking, practically speaking, do I want to have guys play 5 sessions? That's an element that if you can limit them to 4 or 3 or 4, it might be better for. I should say, if you can limit them to 2 or 3 on Friday, Saturday, it only helps their Sunday be that much more efficient. So that's one element in the golf course. But I expect the rough to be up right off the fairway. I expect the greens to be maybe a little slower than we're anticipating, right? Because what we do over here is we try to widen the fairways. We bring the rough down, especially in the landing zones, and they know this. And then around the greens, the rough is usually not that substantial, and the greens are pretty perfect fast, right? Over there, they're a little slower, usually a little saturated, it seems like. Fairways are a little narrower, and the rough comes up. The fairways, I don't know if he can narrow the fairways, Luke, because of the grass types. The fairways are paspalum, which is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. And then the rough is kind of a Kentucky blue fescue. So he's got some limitations there. But you know what? It's going to be trying. It's going to be hard. They're going to have to hit their drivers straight, especially in the landing zones. The golf course isn't exceptionally long. It becomes long because of some of the uphill shots, but it's going to be a test. And it's a Fazio group redesign, so every green has quadrants, and the pin placements will be pretty obvious, I think, for the most part, but there could be some tricks in there. And, there's some other things he can do. The host captain has the ability to do speed and height, okay, and width. I should say that, and width. Tee boxes, tee markers, and pin placements. He has no say. That's a committee. That's not Luke or I. So those are the specifics behind it. But that's also the beauty of it, because when it comes back here, we have that luxury too.
Staying on kind of the course setup topics, the Europeans have done a great job. I believe it was in Paris where they used analytics, and basically that said Molinari and Fleetwood, this is our optimal. That's their optimal pairing, and that team went out and was a wrecking ball, right? How much does the U.S. use analytics now in terms of like, all right, Xander and Cantlay have been a great team together, but does the analytics agree with that, or does that matter? How much is like your opinion versus what the numbers say?
We use them quite extensively and quite often. Our group is called Scouts, and they're great. They've been with Team USA since 15, and it's kind of evolved since 15. I mean, that was the first year, so I guess you'd say 16 was the first. I don't think we used them in Korea, but that's when they come end of 15 to go on the Hazeltine Ryder Cup. And so these guys are great. I mean, they fully get into the numbers. They fully get into the data crunching and, trying to look at things from different angles. They're, as they call them, they're the nerd herd.
I like that.
I like that too.
And
they're
fitting.
Really, really intelligent individuals. So they deal definitely with the objective-based data, but then they also can deal with the subjectivity of it all. The human element, the personality, the team room, and all the chemistry. They have
do that
modalities
too?
that we can incorporate and actually kind of incorporate both the subjective with the objective, if I'm going to get specific, which is pretty special. Yeah. So we will rely on them. I mean, we've relied on them for a number of years now, and there's been times where we've gone against what they say and we've been burned, and there's been times when we've gone against the say and we've flourished. So there's a lot at the bottom. The bottom line is it's still just golf. They're still pros. They're still a sport. It's still an athletic endeavor. So, you can hash all that out and chew on all that, but there's some truth in it. I mean, one example is this. I remember Webb Simpson and Bubba Watson were paired together in Paris in foursomes, and Bubba there was a certain shot at Paris that he hated, tee shot, hated, and so they flipped it. The stats showed if they would have gone one way, they would have had a great chance of winning an alternate shot, and so they flipped it and they lost. Well, we put it back out there the next day in that same format, and they flipped it and they destroyed that next team. So, point is, that's one example of where we need to pay attention to what these guys are saying. They're getting into the golf course, the attributes of the course, the characteristics of the course that call it horses for courses. So, I use them a lot.
Does it give you that probability to win? Like when you put these two guys versus these two guys, if you do it this way, then you have X% chance of winning? Is it that detailed?
It's yes.
Wow.
There's simulations.
Cool.
I put it that way.
Yeah.
And fully knowing that the simulations are, a computer chip. So or an algorithm, right? I mean, there's way more to it than that. But yes, you have to pay attention to all of those elements. But it's not the only thing we look at either. So, there's a lot of wisdom in that leadership group I have.
I hate having to ask this, but I'm going to, so I don't get killed.
No, I love when questions.
I really do.
Oh, I hate having. No, you don't.
No, but obviously, there's a lot going on in the game of golf right now between PGA Tour, Live, 100%. And everything. What's the communication been like with the Live players? Obviously, it looks like Brooks is going to make it on points, which is incredible considering how few events he's had to earn points. But you got guys like Bryson, who's been playing really well over there. Dustin Johnson went 5-0 at Whistling Straits. How much talk have you had with them, and what's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, I've only get to see him essentially, in the major championship scene. There hasn't been much communication on. I mean, if I'm going to be fully transparent. But it's hard because, I mean, I'm not able to witness what they're doing and see their form with the exception of essentially 3 or 4 weeks a year. You said it. What Brooks has done this year is, well, I mean, no one's surprised, but is remarkable. I think he played okay last year in a couple of the majors, which actually counted in points too. So I'm just glad he's healthy. There was a time where he was really concerned about his tenure and time in golf. So he's a stud. He's when it comes to you guys can get in the numbers. I really don't know them all, but when it comes to the highest gravity situations in the game of golf, he seems to be at his best. both from a posture standpoint and an execution standpoint, and that is a rare breed.
And it's awesome to hear you say that, but you also hear that from the other players. They're like, what he does in the major championships, I mean, the highest one, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost like he uses other events, regardless of where they are, as opportunities to kind of see where his game is, not really caring what the scoreboard says, and then, oh, yeah, that's right, the PGA Championships in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I better get going.
It just keeps
unbelievable.
It so simple. It feels like other people, major championships, let's do this. So you can like overthink it, right? Kind of like similar being a Ryder Cup guy. How much data, how much of this stuff is actually useful? At the end of the day, it's just golf, and I feel like Brooks understands that better than anyone.
I think that's a great observation.
Which is a huge
He keeps it extremely. I mean, he doesn't play slow.
Plays
Right?
fast, quick decisions,
Right.
not overthinking.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I do this every day.
Right, and it's not like jittery quick. It's just like it's rhythmic fast.
That's
right?
how he goes.
And that's how he goes. And then when you're around him, he's not fast. He's just kind of strutting and sitting and chilling. And I mean, he's not nothing but on the golf course, it's the speed and the rhythm in which he plays is extremely attractive. And I would almost argue calculated.
It brings the best out of him.
It's
It's like he
fantastic.
just thinks this is another tournament,
right.
and everyone else is like, this is the biggest deal.
I mean,
in
he's
the
won
world,
5
and it
majors.
works
How many
for him.
times? He had a couple other opportunities there where
Yeah,
he could have
he's
won
close.
more.
I mean, he was
That's
close.
my point. Yeah.
Almost picked off the Masters
How many
again.
PGA
this
Tour
year.
events has he won? I have no idea.
He's won more majors than he has.
He's won 4 PGA Tour events
events.
and 5 majors.
Yeah. Good
and
ratio.
now he doesn't play on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Good ratio. Important
ratio.
question here because you touched on it earlier. Team room. I need to know what it looks like. I need to know everything. What's the art on the walls? What kind of games are we playing? All the stuff. Snacks. Feed it to me.
This is my wife's domain, if you will. But it's red, white, and blue. And I mean, that sounds, well, duh. But it is
sense.
extremely
Wow.
red.
Breaking news. Clip that.
Yeah.
I like
It is
that.
extremely red. And we use a company that's actually based out of Europe to help design these rooms. You have a space, and then you just kind of create what you want to create. So we have an awesome lounge area. Obviously, food will be everywhere. Caddy room as well, but it's like open doors to everything. We're all keeping it team. There's a captain's room, like a table and with all my captains, and we can bring guys in and out of there and talk. So that's kind of a private room. There is a massive gym that we are constructing just for these guys, just for that 1 week. And then the team floor, it's much the same. There's partitions that are in these scaffolding kind of things that are red, that just with pictures of all the guys or former cups, former teams. It is awesome. It actually looks a lot like what we're wearing, if I'm going to be honest with you.
So beautiful.
It's gorgeous, bold, and but comfortable too, functional, and they have everything. And then you get to the golf course, and it's much the same. Locker room area, physio area, gym, captain's room, food coming off the walls. And it's Italy, right? Food's pretty good there, as we know.
Carb load. You got a carb load.
Oh, baby, come on.
Remember that.
And it's a pretty awesome endeavor. My wife's done a great job. It's been fun to do it with her.
Well, it's going to be awesome. Can't wait to get over there and watch you boys. But right now, it's time to get to our E9, which is some fun questions.
Yes,
Maybe learn a little
I'm
more
ready.
about Captain
All right.
Zach Johnson. Should we just skip the first one? He doesn't want to be anybody else. He's the captain of the Ryder Cup
Ask him
team.
who wants to play. Who would you have play you in a movie about your life? We'll do a little throwback there. That'd be more interesting, probably.
Who would I have play me in a movie?
Yeah, a movie made about your life.
Well,
Who do you want to play you?
I mean, I get gosh, what's his name?
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I get
Yeah,
him
that's
all
the
the time.
only answer, by the way.
Yeah.
And
Just wanted to make sure you
phenomenal
knew.
actor, right? Pretty versatile, unlike myself. So I guess we got to go with him.
I think there's
works.
not another answer. I think is
Okay,
the
then
answer
that's
to
him.
that. I
All
just
right.
wanted to make sure you were aware of
I'm
that. I
well
didn't know
aware
if
of
you
it.
were going to pick like Mark
I get
Wahlberg
called
or
two
something.
things: Joaquin and Dustin, all the time. All the time.
Dustin?
Still.
Dustin
Just because it's Johnson?
Johnson? Where is the?
Just because the last
Where's
name?
the
because of the
confusion?
last name.
Oh, just because of the last name. I was
Yeah,
about to
they're
say.
same.
Time.
So
They're-
yeah, you have the
and
same
I love
last
my
name.
boy DJ, but that's about the only thing we have in
No,
common.
that's an easy
is the-
mistake
is the
to
last
make.
name.
That's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah, it is easy mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
took
Joaquin all the time.
You took the same classes at Drake as he took at Coastal Carolina.
Next question.
Okay. All right. Next one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how offended were you when I decided to skip the Masters after winning the U.S. Amateur Championship?
Probably about a -3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I said if Tiger would have been defending champion, I probably would have stayed amateur.
Right.
Sorry, Zach.
That's okay. I forgive you. We would have played together.
We would have.
I think
could
I
have
played with
been?
Cantlay. Did he?
I don't know. It's not near as fun.
Who did you beat in the finals?
Michael Thompson.
No, he's too. I didn't play with Slick. You beat Michael Thompson in the finals.
Dummy.
Can you believe that upset?
Daggum. That's amazing. Where was it? Forgive me.
Olympic Club.
Olympic.
That could have
That
been
course is hilly. You know what? It's a lot like that.
Really?
Yes, it's
that
on a hill.
dramatic.
More.
Wow.
Yes.
This
That's
is
cool
a
to hear.
different little yard. we
Yeah,
got.
it really is. The 18th hole in particular, I don't know what it is, 615, and with the predominant wind that we should get off the right and down, these guys will be hitting iron in there.
No kidding.
It's kind of Maui-ish.
Interesting.
That fairway ain't that big.
Yeah.
Not even close, but it's
Interesting.
that downhill.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to walk it.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well said. I got a cart.
Yeah, we'll hop in that. First question for me, easy one. Who are the captain's picks? No, I'm kidding.
Americans. Six
Going
Americans.
Six
Yeah.
Americans?
Yeah,
Sweet.
they're born
All
in
right.
the United States. Yep.
My real
and
first
probably
question.
on the PGA Tour, but not
Okay,
necessarily.
there's
Not
a couple
necessarily.
little
Not
nuggets.
necessarily.
Connect the dots, everyone.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah.
My real first question is, A, congratulations, and B, how did you cure your practice swing yips? Because you got over that
I haven't.
nicely.
A lot
of people
I don't think I fully have. Yeah, man.
I haven't seen one in a while.
Okay, how many do you think there have been? They're documented.
I can name 3 off my head,
Yeah,
which
there's
leads me
been
to believe
5.
there's more.
There's
okay.
been 5. Yeah.
The Masters went on 13th, the best.
Twice
Did you ever think after
on the same hole.
after one being like, maybe I should just practice swing 2 inches further away from the ball?
You'd think.
Yeah, you're smart.
You would think.
You're smart.
Here's the thing,
analytics.
I mean this sincerely. I'm not gonna lie. It does not bother me, obviously, because it's not that big of a deal. It is part of me. But I think it really bothers my wife. Like, that's what you're going to be known for. I'm like, no, it's not.
I also won 2 majors, and I'm a Ryder Cup captain.
Well, I
but-
mean, yeah. My point is, it's the funny part about Augusta was it happened on Friday and it was shown, and there was the camera's right there. And then I did it Sunday. That's when Tiger won in 19, and then Sunday I teed off the back. That's when there was a weather delay. I was right at the split, so I went off pretty early off the back, and I did it again on the same hole. And I went back to the camera. I said, "That's twice," and they didn't even have the camera on, so it wasn't even documented.
Oh, okay.
Then I go down to Hilton Head the next week, and Boog, Daniel Berger, right, being the Boog that he is, goes, "See, you did it again." And I'm like, "How did you see it?" Because it wasn't on there. He's like, "What do you mean? How did I see it? It was on camera." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but the second one was." And he goes, "Oh, then you've done it 3 times because you did it with me in Boston on the 5th hole." And I'm like,
Have
Damn,
you ever
I
caught
have.
one like flush enough that you're almost looked at your caddy and be like, just toss me another ball. I don't want to go chase that one down.
"Well, I hit a guy in the thigh on 18 at TPC. pretty
Sawgrass,
hard.
right? Yeah, that one came off.
might
That
have
one
left
came
a
off.
mark.
Yeah, that one had heat.
that had some heat on it.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
It's
All
impressive.
right, next one.
Congrats
Great
on getting
question.
over it, though.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Doug.
You have an incredible charity event back home in Cedar Rapids that I've been lucky enough
Thank
to be
you,
a
Colt.
part of quite a few times. Zach
Yeah.
Johnson Foundation. I tell everybody it's the most well-run charity event I've ever been a part of, and I have
Thanks.
so much fun there. I don't know if you knew that. I have a lot
He
of fun.
is
We both
trying to
have a
get
lot of
picked
fun
right
out there.
now.
I definitely know you have fun there.
Yes, but I need to know what was a more stressful moment: losing your wallet at that event or forgetting your suit.
The wallet, for sure.
I was there for the wallet.
Yes, you were. You were on my phone. I was calling you because
Yes.
of the wallet. And that had to be at least 45 minutes to an hour, right?
Yeah, and then tell the people where it was.
It was on the bus about a row from you in my backpack.
Yeah,
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm not justifying it. This is not an excuse. But it's one of those. It's those 2 days that I look forward to and absolutely savor the most. But man, it's a lot, and it's fantastic. It's going home. It's where it all started. They're my people. My board absolutely kills it. The fans come out. Transamerica kills it. Our program's killing it. But it's just it's a lot.
and then you thought Jody Cobb could just make you a new suit in like 10 minutes.
And she more or less can. Yeah, that's right. She's
Shout
very
out, Jody.
resourceful.
You're the
Shout
best.
out, Jody.
Congrats on getting the wallet
Side
back.
question to
Thank you.
that, because
That's scary.
Smiley and I go back and forth about who's the honorary mayor of Cedar Rapids, him or I.
Smiley Kaufman.
Yeah.
I love my boy
He thinks
Smiley.
he's a big deal around Cedar Rapids.
Colt,
Oh,
come on now.
Your vice mayor.
Did you
assistant.
Did you true or false? I want to answer your
Easy,
question
easy.
with a question.
This is our show, not
true or
yours.
false? And it's 2 forms. Are you the MC of the actual clinic?
This is true.
Okay. Second, did you bring a speaker to the after party on Sunday night?
Somebody's got to get the vibe.
That's
going.
my point.
Yes. Okay. Good
You
point. So
are-
it's me. Perfect.
I don't
Sorry.
even know if you have the, you may not be a mayor. You might have the key to the city, buddy.
I do love Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, it smells great, but I love
The
that
highest
place.
I've ever been drafted in my life. Zach's event. It's not even close.
Yeah, you are. You're always in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know, it's
I'm not
unbelievable.
even drafted because I'm like off the board. But yeah, you're probably 1 or 2.
Oh, it's so much
It's
fun.
awesome. They do a great job.
All right, next
Thanks
one
for bringing
for me.
that up.
Yeah, it's good. You're a big sports fan, so I'm going to need you to
Huge.
put on your thinking cap here. You're going to have to run some numbers, do a
Okay.
little of that analytics.
Okay.
Higher expected points total for this year. U.S. Ryder Cup team or Iowa Hawkeyes football average points per game. Go.
Ooh. That's a tough one. That is a nail biter.
Dude, it's snug. I did some
actually-
research on this.
I did agree to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put, I mean, it's a good question.
Well,
Yeah,
or Polo Ralph Lauren did
I-
for you.
I hope it's close. Let's just put it that way.
They're around
if,
17 a game.
Yeah,
I'll
and
get it
they
done.
need to get to that 25 plus number. So if we can get in the 20s, oh my gosh, that's a bull. I'm not going to say that. It's going to be really hard. But hey, I've got trust in my Iowa Hawkeye offense, and I've got a lot of trust in Team USA Golf. So I'm going to take both.
17-17.
Boom.
Take that, wouldn't we?
I would love-
You're going to need a couple of scoop and scores or a pick six or a kickoff. You
However,
need special
we can muster
teams to
some
get
red
17.
on the board. We'll take it. However, they can muster some points. Their defense is
They're fun to
legitimate.
watch. They're really fun to watch.
They're
Up
great.
and down.
They're great. I love everything. I love everything about that football team.
Up and down the field.
All right, next one. You're known as one of the best putters ever. Could roll the rock.
That's a
Well,
farce.
I think you
That
are.
is a
That's
farce.
that.
I mean, I'm not even just trying to be humble. That's a farce.
Okay. Well, would you say you're better with the putter or the clarinet?
Putter.
buddy.
Next question.
Oh,
Buddy
no, hold
boy,
on.
time
Back
on the
up
field.
a second.
Are you a clarinet guy?
I've got words right now that I can't utter.
What?
Well, it was required that you had to be
Yeah,
in
everyone-
as a kid,
Yeah.
and I qualified by going and getting situated, and they said you're going to play the trombone, and I'm like, okay. So I go home and I said, Mom, I'm playing the trombone. She goes, No, you're not. You're playing this here clarinet.
Nothing pulls chicks more in high
Than a
school than a
clarinet.
clarinet.
That's
I've
right.
always
Polo
said
Ralph
that.
Lauren's great moisture wicking
Yeah,
material because
yeah.
you're sweating right now.
That is legitimate.
You couldn't talk her into like the trumpet
Colt,
or something?
I cannot believe you found that.
Can you still strum that thing?
I
Hot cross buns?
wouldn't even know how to
Turn it on?
hold it. Correct.
Okay. You still played it though.
For a year.
Hey, that's a confident
It
man.
is, yes.
I respect that about you. It takes a real man to
I did quit the piano.
Play a
That was
clarinet.
dumb. I should've-
Clarinet.
piano's sick.
Yeah. Thanks, Colt.
Beautiful.
I'm going
Love
to give
it.
you a little easy layup. This is actual real question here.
Okay.
And it's not nothing embarrassing. Of all the Ryder Cups you've played in,
Mm.
give me your favorite moment in a match. Say number one highlight of matches I've played in. No vice captain stuff.
Well, I go straight to teams, so I go. I've got some highlights. How many? I can only give you one.
Yeah, just feed us.
Okay, there's two that stand out. There's a lot, but the number one right off the bat is we won in Hazeltine. That was the only one I won in playing, and I won my match on the 18, 17, 16, 15th hole. I played Fitz. He was a rookie that year. What a great kid. Won my match on 15, almost won it on 14. And right before I made, I don't know what it was, 4 to 8 footer for birdie, Ryan Moore made the putt on 18 to secure it. So it was a massive wave of emotions. We had won it. I knew before I had putted that we had won. And so, I mean, I remember letting out. I lost my voice in a matter of 8 seconds. So that stands out. Winning some matches with some of my buddies stands out. I won with Jimmy Walker that week a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. He played great. My first match ever with Chad Campbell stands out significantly. And I don't need to get in the weeds of it, but we were down 2 with 3 to go, and we have the match. An alternate shot against Padraig and Paul McGinley. So that one stands out. Another one that stands out on kind of the sour end, but also kind of a moment that I'll never forget, if that makes sense, is my singles match, my rookie Ryder Cup. I remember when the drawing came out, and I'm like, you're seeing who you're going to be paired up against, and I'm playing Darren Clark in Ireland. And his wife just passed away 4 or 5 weeks prior to that. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to undertake. I say that. I can only imagine. I can't imagine what he was going through. And I don't know where I was in the fold there, maybe in the middle of the pack, maybe towards the back. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But I got to 16. The Ryder Cup's over. They demolished us, right? And he's got a downhill left to right slider from maybe 4 to 5 feet. And I'm like, to win the match in Ireland, Ryder Cup's over. I just said, dude, you got to pick that one up. So
that's awesome.
that stands out because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but looking back on it, I'm like, oh, thank God that actually occurred to me. And he and I will never forget that.
That's
so,
a classy
Darren,
moment.
And everybody loves Darren. I mean, he's the best. He's the best.
Awesome.
The best.
A 10.
So,
Love that guy.
10.
Do you ever wish, since you're captain, I mean, you have some say on this, like Sleaze and I love the way the President's Cup does it, where we throw out a team or a player and then you rebuttal.
Yeah.
Do you wish they would do that at the Ryder Cup, or do you like the blind draw?
I'll just say this. I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I like that the President's Cup does that because it's different.
That's the answer.
I just think if there's any, like,
I know.
happen to be animosity out there. between
Yeah,
teams,
you get
wanna see
the
that.
Tiger versus the Rorys and stuff.
100%. And the history and the tradition of the Cup is probably what trumps everything. And so you keep it.
Yeah.
You keep it the way it is. But I will say that snake, if you will, with the President's Cup is pretty special.
Great TV, too.
Great TV.
A little chess game.
I remember I was vice captain for Tiger in Australia. And just the way things were laying out that week, obviously he's competing, he's playing captain, right? And so he and I went in for the singles. We already had him pretty much kind of drawn out how we wanted. We're going in there, just he and I, because the other guys were helping the guys do other stuff. It was just chaos. And so he's like, you got to go with me. We're going in here. And on 2 occasions, I had to like grab him because he's about ready to say another name when it wasn't our turn. So, you can get caught up in it. Like, okay, we
don't tip your
Adam
hand.
Scott and Jordan Spieth or whatever it may be. Yeah, don't tip your hand. Exactly. So, a lot of fun. They're both fun. I love the snake of the President's Cup, but I really love at the opening ceremonies when they put on the board for the first time and the guys stand up.
Yeah,
who's
it's cool.
playing who in the tandems on Friday morning? That gets you.
You get
gets
jacked.
you going. And the national anthem gets you jacked.
Yeah,
You come
that's
in and
really
play
cool.
the clarinet for the Star Spangled Banner this year. It's a wrap. The thing's on ice. They never come back from that.
It will be deafening in a bad way. But
We're going to get a clarinet over there. We'll
there you
smuggle
go.
one into Rome.
All right, last one from me. At your charity event, also, we made a little news last year when you and I took a picture with the Ryder Cup that you had there, and kind of just playfully announced that I was going to be a vice captain. Well, I was told by the PGA of America I had to take it down. There were some articles.
Did they
written
really?
about, yeah.
I don't remember that part.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just wondering if at all you thought about maybe, this could possibly work. I mean, I did drive your cart at the President's Cup and did a hell of a job.
You did a hell of a job. You're an excellent driver.
Just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
And no chance of actually wearing the red, white, and blue.
I'm going to say that my vice captainship's leadership group is full. I know
You
that
only
hurts.
have so many spots, you said.
but I only
know?
have so many spots.
Davis has done a million of these.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, what has he
has
done?
done it. Yeah.
What's he done there?
And he served on the board for 80 years as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's he's unbelievable. I remember asking him, and he's like, "Dude, I should be done." I'm like, "Well, you should be, but you're not. I need you." So,
Yeah.
All right, I'll wait till next year.
Freddie's
maybe
lifetime.
next time.
Maybe
Yeah.
New York
Freddie
City.
just needs to be in the room for the effect.
If there's been a common denominator as far as what these guys have said to me, as far as, hey, who are you going to put with you? And when are you going to ask Fred? Oh, my gosh. Every one of them wants Fred. And who doesn't?
He's the cool
He
guy.
was my captain
Yeah, dude.
at least twice, maybe 3 times in President's Cups, and he's outstanding.
Remember how we were saying, how do we keep him calm down? How do we wind him down
Yeah.
before the first race?
Yeah.
Just bring Freddie in and talk about, guys, dude, you're
Easy
all
going.
you're all
He's
sick
cool
at
breeze.
golf. Yeah, dude, like just go be you.
Yeah, no question.
And you'll be like, yeah, that's right. He's right.
He's a lot more cerebral than probably people give him credit. At the same time, the attraction to Fred is that he takes everything in stride. Very, very, very calculated, very cerebral, but you can't tell. He's amazing, and his wife's even better. So,
Cool hand, Luke. All right, my last one. This one's not as much of a layup, but sports guy, put your hat on.
yep.
Which of the following is not the name of an actual sports franchise? Okay, this could get cut, actually, now that I say it. But all right, you got it here. Which is not a sports franchise?
I'm pretty good at this. Unless
I think
we're
you'll know
gonna
the
get
answer.
if we're going to get into the ambiguity of it all, maybe not. But
No,
go
I
ahead.
think you'll be able to just process of
Okay.
elimination.
All right.
This thing. 1, the Yard Goats. Okay. 2, the Mighty Muscles. That sounds made up. Or 3, the Stiff Shafts. Do any of those ring a bell?
Professionals.
Professional sports organization.
Yeah, I'm going to go with option C,
Why is that? Where did that come from?
Unless if they have,
they've not been franchised.
I think we had a trademark over that, and they should. I should be getting some sort of royalty involved here. But
what sport was this?
This was the Drake University golf team intramural basketball team.
Champions, by the way.
Champions.
Hey, hit me on that.
It was amazing. We were just these little runts out there that could just shoot it. And that was really about it. We had one big guy that just got beat up, and we just chucked it.
That is awesome,
man.
Stiff
shafts.
They won it. The stiff shafts.
Yeah.
Liv might become knocking for that. It feels like a team golf name right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we should have trademarked that joke.
Trademark it right now. This isn't released till a few hours. You're fine.
Your guys' dig of research is impressive.
We're professionals.
Yeah, dude.
We take this very serious.
This
just
is
like
not,
you do as your
this
role
ain't
as
a
Ryder
hobby.
Cup captain.
This ain't no hobby.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, kids.
All right, that's
Zach, man,
all from me.
we really appreciate it. Congratulations on being named captain.
Yes,
Thanks to Polo Ralph Lauren here in Chicago for hosting us, and the uniforms look incredible. Best of luck over in Rome.
Thanks,
get
Colt.
him, buddy.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you guys. Love you too. Appreciate you, man.
All right, that was Captain Zach Johnson joining us on Subpar. Such a treat to sit down with him. One of the nicest, most respected guys in the game of golf. It's crazy to think his career. I mean, a guy not the longest off the tee, two-time major winner, Augusta National, and the Open Championship at St. Andrews. And now he's a Ryder Cup captain. I mean, who would have thought coming out of Drake University?
Yeah, like the number 2 guy, by the way, at Drake. Wasn't even their ace. Man, it's been a hell of a run for Zach. Props to him. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Putting on this gear, honestly, I'm going to get nerd out here for a minute. Putting it on, talking about it, getting my juices going heavy. I cannot wait to be in Rome, see that thing, the European crowd, the chanting, all the stuff. I think this thing is going to be a war. I know the Americans are favorite. I don't know. I think this is tight. I do not think we see even close to what we saw at Whistling Straits, but I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's not going to be like Whistling Straits. This thing is not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We're going to be there. Cannot wait. Thanks to Polo Ralph Lauren here in Chicago. This has been incredible. This store is beautiful. Come check it out if you're in town, and we'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.